Okay, this looks really, really bad. I am in the dark. I could get up, turn the light on. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I am on YouTube Live. Yeah, and my there's my flag for the ground. YouTube Live because I can't do Facebook Live. I can't do Facebook Live because I'm in Facebook jail. 3 days of Facebook jail. I just uh uh got home. I saw him on my phone earlier and I was working, waiting for some food to pick up, that I couldn't post for 3 days. And I read this post that was the offensive post. Nothing in it went against community guidelines. I called Bonnie Riley, which is a fake profile. I called Bonnie Riley a liar because she was lying about me on Scoop Nashville. And I don't doesn't really upset me. I mean, I do know people lie, but I should have the right to say, you're lying. I should have a right to defend myself, but I don't. Because if I say she's lying, and I'm getting to the point where I feel like should not have to prove every little thing. When somebody makes a false accusation against me, I'm getting tired of it because I've got other things to do. I just want to let people know, if you hear anything bad about anybody, don't believe it. And these headlines, people get all upset. There's like these clickbait headlines. And people don't even click on them. They just read them and then they get all upset based on the headline. And I've seen people that or organizations or whatever that I've shared articles of, and I'm like, that headline's really misleading. You really should. And they don't have to change the headline if they don't want to, but I should be able to say, that kind of and I think that's misleading. And I have people who love me and they love me, and they'll tell me, and I'm glad I have these friends, and they'll say, Lydia, I really think people are getting a bad impression of you because you do this or say this. And I can say, well, thank you for saying that. And then after they say that, then I get to decide whether I want to keep doing what I was doing or whether I want to change. Like if I'm wearing some really stinky perfume, but I like it, yeah, that's a good thing. And somebody says, that perfume is making some people, if they get within 2 feet of you, it makes their eyes water. Maybe you should find a different perfume. And then I have to decide, okay, I like this perfume. My daughter gave me this perfume. It's special to me. It's important. It's meaningful. I like for it to be part of me. I like to wear this perfume. So what I'm going to do is just let people know, when they get within 2 feet and their eyes start watering, they can back off. And in that way, they don't need to get closer than 2 feet to me, especially strangers who don't like me. Why would they get closer than 2 feet to me so that their eyes start watering? So I get to wear the perfume that I like, that my daughter gave me, that makes other people's eyes water, which would be offensive to them if they pull themselves up close enough to me. And really, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the people whose eyes water, maybe they're the kind of people I want to repel anyway. So maybe that's a good thing. And that's what I do with my speech, okay? And I I say things, I talk about things that are meaningful to me, and there's not a whole lot more meaningful to me than truth and liberty and justice and love. Because love's number one. And it's not loving to encourage other people to be hateful. I'm not going to do it. So I really do believe that love is a force more powerful. And that's the name of a book, by the way, a really good book about nonviolent action. And all my action is nonviolent. And I am running for the city council. Being on the city council, and I have my work that I don't get paid for, but I have work. Well, I do have work, a part-time work I get paid for. So if I happen to get on the council, and I happen to, and then I have to keep my other part-time job so I can make enough money to survive. Um, I've had people send me really nasty private messages and tell me I should drop out of the race and tell me I cannot express my religious beliefs because my religious beliefs, um, you cannot be in public office and express your religious beliefs. That's what people are telling me. And they're telling me that they hope I don't get elected for office. And those people who aren't even in my area, why do they care? Why do they care? And I tell you what, I met with Clemmy Greenlee last night, and she's there. There are so many people trying to do really awesome work in Nashville, and they're not getting the exposure. They're not getting the support they need. Why is it that if you want to do something, you want to attack somebody who's supporting and defending exercising their constitutionally protected rights and not hurting anybody? I'm not hurting anybody at all. No, show me any evidence. And hurting your feelings when that's not even my intention, that doesn't count. I'm not hurting anybody. I would be hurting a lot of people if I was intimidated out of exercising my constitutionally protected rights. That's why civil rights intimidation is a felony. And as much as I don't like people to go to jail, and as much as I don't like taking people to court, I'm a notary public. I take an oath of office, and I will support and defend the Constitution. I resisted using it for too long because then somebody was using it against me, and then the domestic violence counselor at the police department says, "Well, if he's using it against you, you need to use it against him." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to render evil for evil." And then before I know it, well, it wasn't before I know it, it was several months down the road when I kept hoping that my adversary would come to his senses. He ended up lying, taking his lawyer and going to a different judge who didn't know what's going on, lying like the devil. And next thing I know, my little girl doesn't get to lay eyes on me or hear my voice for a year and 2 weeks. So good. That's not the America I thought I lived in. That's not the America I want my children and grandchildren. Well, I got two adult children, but I don't want my grandchildren. I don't want my friends' children and grandchildren raising in a hateful, intolerant society where our fundamental liberties mean nothing to the people who want to strip you of them. This is terrorists. These are the real domestic terrorists. And I'll tell you, they're on the very, very far left and the very, very far right. You will find hateful, intolerant people. You've got the people who are the in LGBT people. I don't, anybody who knows me knows I love I just live and let live. I don't have to make an idol out of your ideology and worship it along with you uh, when it contradicts mine. I mean, I love everybody. My God is a God of love, and I'm not gonna join in on hating people. And man, it's just insane. Um, I need to go work on my signs, and it's just really sad. It's just really sad that people at both ends of the spectrum, and I'm glad, okay? And I'll tell you something else. When you've got people misbehaving on both ends of the spectrum, I think both of them are doing that for the same reason. I think something's happened to them. I think some of them are driven out of a sense of worthlessness. Um, some of them want just like, they're driven out of a feeling of superiority. And I just feel like so many, and not all of it, probably, because you're probably going to have 10%. I just say, okay, 10 or 20% of people are just going to be the ones that the rest of us should be thankful for, because they give us reasons to develop our uh, long suffering. I've been around really annoying people, and I'm like, thank you, God, for this opportunity to work on myself and develop my patience and forbearance for people who I don't understand, and who are mean and hurtful, because I have to be I have to rise above that, and I have to pray for them. The Bible says, Jesus says, pray for your enemies. There is such a blessing in that. And the people who hate you, you pray for those who mistreat you. And then I do that, and I have such a blessing in it, and I have such a peace from it. But there's still, even Jesus, there came a time he took a stand and drove the people who were misbehaving out of the temple, because they were perverting things. And I've seen a lot of perversion in our legal system. And we have laws for a reason, and they're for our benefit. And when they're not serving the people, we need to change them. And our First Amendment protections are critical. I suggest people go read the Declaration of Independence and the kind of stuff we stood up against, and read the preamble and the Bill of Rights. Read the preamble to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It just take you a few minutes, and think about it today, and think about what it would be like if all of everything we could say or think or do was controlled by people who had a totally different value system than us. It's exciting to meet people from different parts of the world who have they come here and they assimilate, but they also maintain their flavor from whatever their wherever they came from. And that's, to me, that's what America is all about. We are a nation of immigrants. We all, other than the Native Americans, and I'm really sorry for how they were mistreated. I'm really sorry. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. But I just hope we can just all live in peace. And this these attacks on our fundamental liberties, I was unaware for a long time. I was unaware that people think that if you're in public office, you cannot express your religious beliefs. And I never impose my religious beliefs on other people unless it's my minor children, and I say, you're going to get up and get in that car, and you're going to go to church with me. You're going to sit down, and we're going to read the Bible together. Or, but when I've got my two older kids are adult children, and they've got very different beliefs than me. And I always told them, I'm the mom, and I'm going to teach you my beliefs. And I expose them to all kinds of different beliefs. My children were raised in a very diverse, uh, they're raised around people, different religious beliefs, different, uh, just not even religious beliefs, different ways of doing things. I mean, even in our family, I mean, uh, my in-laws, my in-laws, and oh, by the way, people were saying I've been married twice. I have been married twice, but I've only had one husband, and I have a child out of wedlock, um, who is all my kids are amazing, and they've all changed me and made me a better person in their own way. And Delara, um, yeah, she's my little out of wedlock child, and she's the one who really taught me humility, and she's the one who taught me that freedom really isn't free. She taught me that in a way. If I had not been through this experience that I've been through with her, I would not have known how many people are having fundamental liberties denied them on a daily basis. And it damages entire families. So I'm seeing that with my own eyes, and whether you're having your rights infringed on because of your age or your disability or your religious beliefs or your sexuality or your cultural heritage, any of that, if you're an American, I'm going to stand up for you. And it's up to God whether I end up on the council or not. I've just prayed God put me where I can do the most good. And that's a 4-year commitment. And I don't believe I'm required to not share my religious beliefs in my private life or share it publicly on my private Facebook page, but I believe that's unconstitutional. And if there is such a law, uh, if there is such a rule or regulation for people serving on the council, then I'll have to withdraw because but I'll be fighting it. I'll be if there is a rule or regulation that says metro councilman cannot express. I mean that's totally against the Tennessee Constitution and the United States Constitution. So if there's a rule or regulation, I'll be challenging that. And I guess maybe I shouldn't say that I'll withdraw. I'll say if I'm on the if I do get elected, or if they say, well, you're not qualified because you don't keep your personal thoughts and opinions to yourself. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And Delara Gadare, I hope she sees this. I hope she knows that I'm fighting for her and for everybody else. And I don't hate anybody. Oh my gosh! Of all people in the world to call me a bigot, um, I don't think there's really been. Maybe I was a little bit. If there's a bigot spectrum, I was on it 10 years ago before I got pregnant out of wedlock. Oh my god, and I can laugh about it now. But yeah, Delara is the child who's changed me the most. And yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about my other 2 kids other than they're grown up and they don't they don't like drama. I think Delara is all about drama. She's not really, I shouldn't say that, not all about drama. She doesn't mind it. She doesn't mind it. She doesn't really care. And she'll take a stand with me. And she has taken a stand to defend the rights of other people. She was in a protest in 2013, I think, for some of our Turkish friends. There was a protest out around Centennial Park, and there's like a little parade. And she got her flag, and she wanted to be front and center. Because I said, over in Turkey, there's people who are saying they don't want these trees cut down this park, and they're firing tear gas at them and shooting them with water and taking all their stuff and throwing it away, and that's not very nice. And I want the people to be able to protest if they're doing it peacefully, don't you? And yeah, she was up there. I mean, she would like run to the very, and I'm like, okay, just don't get too far ahead of people. But that's my Delara, and she's more than any of my kids. She's got my temperament. And she and the I posted on Facebook every my I've been deprived of my parental rights primarily because of my exercise of my free speech, and that tells me all the more that I should not let them silence me. Because if they'll take your kids away from you because you say my daughter's gonna fight against this, and y'all better watch out because when she turns 18, she can sue all kinds of people for deprivation of civil rights. I mean that we've got laws against this. And, people who think they want special rights, like gay rights, we can't even defend the rights we already have. So I'm sure not gonna get behind uh, people who want to say, well, you can only exercise and that's what they don't want. The gay rights are the rights to restrict other people's rights. That's what they want. Based on how they've attacked me when I say, well, I don't think being gay is anything to be proud of. And it's not. Being heterosexual, is it really something to be proud of? And if it's the immorality, practicing homosexuals. Oh, well, I'm so proud. I have sex with people the same sex as me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, well, good for you. But um, go ahead. And I said, go ahead, have your festival. They got a right to express their thoughts and opinions, and to they've got the right to associate with people they want to associate with. But that's not enough for them. They want to silence me. How dare you say, how dare you say that there's we don't have something to be proud of? Why do they care? I mean, that it's sick. It's really sick. And I'll say this. I have probably far more than most people. I look and listen to the other side of people. If I take one position, like I take uh, homosexuality and adultery, and see all this stuff. It's not just that TV show Glee, and they had a boy and my daughter. I watched it with my daughter. She wanted to watch it. My adult daughter now, and I said, well, I was going to say we're not watching that in my house, but then I remembered, okay, she could go to her dad's and watch it at her dad's, so I can't watch her all the time. So I'm like, okay, we're going to watch it together, and we're going to discuss the things I have concerns about, and you could tell me, your thoughts about things. And I told her, and there were really sad things in there. Like there was this lesbian girl cheerleader, and her grandmother disowned her on the show, the Glee. Was a Hispanic cheerleader, and she was having, her girlfriend was like a blonde cheerleader. And when this girl told her grandmother that she liked girls, I think that's how she phrased it. She liked girls instead of boys. It's like, all right, that's it. You're dead to me. And that was really sad. So I watched that show with my daughter, a good bit of it, and I watched Brokeback Mountain, and it made me cry. And as far as abortion goes, I watched Vera Drake. I have not watched Unplanned yet, but I watched Vera Drake, and Vera Drake is about this woman who very deeply cared for other people and served other people. And she was the one that went and checked on the old people who didn't have anybody to check on them, and gave fixed them a cup of tea and said, "Oh, we'll check back later." She's the one that took care of people. And when she heard about somebody who was it's Vera Drake, when she heard about somebody who was pregnant and it was going to be bad things, like one of it, they called her a darky. There was a black girl or a mulatto girl or something, and it was, you could tell that she was doing these abortions from a heart of compassion. You could tell that. And so many of us engage in this splitting. It's like, okay, everything's black or white. It's not everything, and not even everything's right or wrong. There's things that's just personal choice. Like me, the way I express my thoughts and opinions, that's not really right, or I don't see anybody say it's right or wrong. I think abortion is always the wrong choice. But talking to people who have I don't say abortion is murder. One of my best friends has had 4 abortions, and I know somebody he had abortions when they were on drugs and they were just living a really bad lifestyle, and they knew that their pregnancy, they were not going to pull out of that the drug abuse. They knew that they were going to, this baby, they did not have the wherewithal or the desire or to get off the drugs and nurture that baby and keep substances out of this baby's bloodstream, and to nourish this baby properly, and then give the baby a good life when it was born. So she had abortion, and I also have known people who've been coerced into abortions and were mentally damaged and emotionally damaged the rest of their lives. And I was in a position where I could have had an abortion, just taking the pill, would have been so easy. And I'm glad now that they have, if you take the abortion pill and then you change your mind, they've got another pill that you can take to try to save the baby. Um, I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah. So Vera Drake um, because I want to know, and I read this in and out newspaper. Um, I read about these people. Oh, and I watch these shows about these parents of transgender children, and I watch that because I want to know what these other people's experiences are. And what would I do if my daughter was you, it's like you're almost in a no-win situation. That's the same way when you're in politics too. You're always going to get criticized. If you take a stand for anything, they're going to you draw attention to what other people don't like about you. And it doesn't matter who you are. Jesus Christ, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Gandhi, Obama, Trump. People are going to love you for things you do and think and say, and people are going to hate you for what you love you do and think and say. And it, you can either decide to that it's not worth it, and it's not healthy for you to, or you're less productive in your service to your community. But for me, I used to think I'm a gadfly, but now I'm more than a gadfly. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. I'm fighting. I'm on the front lines. I'm they say, well, okay, if you get married, you don't have to go to war for a while, or if you just had a baby or whatever, you don't have to go for it. But there's nothing to hold me back. And like when there was that tsunami and the nuclear cleanup stuff in Japan, you know, there are people who are in better positions who had fewer people dependent on them, and that was the way they could best serve their community, is going and doing that cleanup and putting themselves at risk. And so me, I um, I have two adult children, and my parents, I've got five siblings. I've got, nobody, there is no better way for me to serve. And I believe God prepared me for this. I believe people think I'm a train wreck now. You should have seen me 30 years ago or 20 years ago, or yeah, 10 years ago when my ex-husband got remarried and my oh my God. So this is what I'm gonna do. And if people get me blocked off of Facebook, I'll go to YouTube. And people who know me know I'll go to jail. I'll go stand on the side of the road with signs. I'll get messages any way I can. Even if I were to, I mean, you got to kill me. And you know what? I'm just the kind of person that, like Malala Yousafzai, you shoot me in the head, I'm probably the kind of person who's going to live to tell about it. And you shooting me in the head, just like all these people attacking me yesterday or the day before, Scoop Nashville, you attack me just like all those people stood up for and I prayed for that girl when she got shot in the head, and she wanted the girls to have the right to education. Somebody didn't like that, so they shoot her in the head to try to silence her. Did they silence her? No, they gave her an even bigger platform. And the people attacking me have probably figured it out by now, that they're just giving me a bigger platform to say, we need to live together. We need to respect each other's rights. Everybody has a voice, and I'm going to be a voice for the voiceless. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to go make my signs. And you're going to be seeing, if you're in Nashville, and probably nobody watching this is in Nashville. I don't hardly have any followers, but I'm going to share this link on my Facebook when it gets unblocked, because I told them I think they made a mistake. Facebook, I don't even think they read that post that they blocked me over, because there was nothing in it that, and they had done that before. I think somebody just trying to annoy me, and it's like, let us know if you think we made a mistake. And I let them, and they're like, oh yeah, you're right, we made a mistake. You're out of jail. So, and I don't think they've ever put me in jail for 3 days. I just don't think they have. Okay, or I'm going to go. I'm going to keep this. When I get back on Facebook, I'm going to share it. This is June. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, June 4th. June 4th, 2019, Tuesday. Yeah, that's all I got to say is and I'm done talking about. I mean, this is Gay Pride Month, but like I said, I think they figured out by now that if they attack me, it's going to make people see what hearts of darkness some of those people have. Because I mean, I was really. If you want to look at me and say she's bad, you'll find that. If you want to look at me and say she's good, you'll find that. And I hope that the people whose at first glance, because of some misleading headline they read, or because of something I say or do myself that's really weird and off the wall, and maybe they think I'm bad. And just because you're a little bit weird doesn't mean you're bad. Um, so if they want to think I'm bad, I hope at least they'll be curious enough to wonder why I do what I do for other people, because it's not getting me anything. I'm telling you, I've suffered. I've had everything taken from me. I almost lost my house this year, and I want Nashville to be, you know, maybe I don't want people to say, well, it's a nice place to visit, but you don't want to live there. And I think that's where we're heading. Is there's so much wrong here in our city, and I keep hearing people saying keep hearing people say, it's turning into little Chicago, and um, I think there's always been corruption here, but a lot of people didn't know about it, and now we're getting to know about some stuff. I was just uh, the Secrets of the Hopewell Box. I haven't read the whole book yet, but okay. So I'm gonna go paint my signs. If Delara sees this, I want her to be brave and and speak out to the nice people. Find the helpers and tell them what's going on, because they might help. If she doesn't speak out, she won't get any help at all. And if she speaks out, then she'll know that at least she tried. And then the burden will be on the people who chose to hear her pain and suffering and not step up and do something about it. And there's a lot of stuff people can do. There, so somebody's criticizing me because I contacted every member of the city council to tell what was going on with Delara, and I didn't get a response. And they're like, you know what? Every member that council is a resident of this city. And if they can't do something in an official capacity, they can say something about it. They don't have to do it as councilmen or mayors or whatever. All right, I got to go. I'm about to lose my battery. Please be nice, do good, seek peace, love one another, and support and defend the Constitution at every opportunity. That was my message every day.